Well, it was really a forceful ruling, 57 pages in length, where they really rebuted the argument put forward by Donald Trump's lawyers. The panel of 3 judges wrote, quote, "Former President Trump's alleged efforts to remain in power despite losing the 2020 election were, if proven, an unprecedented assault on the structure of our government. He allegedly injected himself into a process in which the president has no role, the counting and certifying of the Electoral College votes, thereby undermining constitutionally established procedures and the will of Congress." Now, effectively, there were 3 findings that came out of this ruling. The first was that they outwardly rejected any notion of presidential blanket immunity. The second was that even if there was some sort of immunity, that Trump would have been outside of his bounds anyway. And then the third was the argument that was put forward by Trump's legal team, which said that a president could only be found criminally responsible if he had already been impeached by the House and the Senate. Now, of course, that brought up some of the most interesting arguments we saw during that hearing, during which Donald Trump's legal team said, yes, he would be immune from prosecution if he'd ordered the assassination of a political rival by SEAL Team 6, as long as he hadn't been impeached by the Senate. So that really was something that caught a lot of headlines here in the United States. Now, this ruling took a month. It was expected to be a lot faster than that. The District Appeals Court said they were doing this on an expedited basis, and it still took 1 month. But the reason for that, some analysts here think, is because this really heavy ruling, 57 pages, as I said, was quite weighty, and also was something that the Supreme Court potentially could just rubber stamp rather than having to weigh in on themselves. So the panel here really crossing their T's and dotting their I's.
How is Trump trying to spin this legal setback that he's not immune, as he was claiming, from being judged over alleged electoral interference?
Well, his campaign chief released a statement saying, quote, "Prosecuting the president for official acts violates the Constitution and threatens the bedrock of our republic." That obviously something that the ruling did not find. They said it was constitutional. Now, Trump himself has been a bit more explicit in his rebut of this filing. He said, "A nation-destroying ruling like this cannot be allowed to stand. If not overturned, as it should be, this decision would terribly injure not only the presidency, but the life, breadth and success of our country." Now, Donald Trump is using this to fundraise off of. He's already sent texts and emails to his supporters saying that the government has been weaponized and Joe Biden is using the government against him, that he needs their money to help fight off this case. And it is a lot of money he's needed. $50 million is what Trump has spent on legal fees so far. That all money that his campaign donors have been paying towards, and that is likely only to get higher as his legal troubles mount up and these trials start to begin. Now, it must be said as well that the donors have come from all walks of life, and it's normally a lot of small donors as well. So it's Donald Trump relying on his base for their votes and also their dollars.
Fraser Jackson, thank you very much indeed. Keep us up to date with all developments, please. And I'm just left wondering on that issue of legal fees, whether it is actually legal for campaign funds to be diverted towards paying legal fees. Maybe a question we could elaborate on in the future. Fraser, thank you again for joining us from Washington.